Welcome back, witches and wizards. I am so excited to have you here with us for our wonderful live stream, hanging out with some of the Harry Potter Wizards Unite WooTubers. Today we are going to talk about some of the wonderful things that you guys have been asking us in the Q&A, tweeting out to us, asking us questions on Instagram. I want to thank you guys for that. Today we have Zealman Wizarding World. We have the Wizard's Guide, we have Uniting Wizards and Wizard PhD, and of course I am Slytherin. Make sure you are subscribed to all. There should be a card up in the comments or up in this screen here, so if you guys have not already, make sure you are subscribed to them. Give them some love, show some support. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Mark over at the Zealman Wizarding World to introduce himself for the channel.
Hi, I'm Mark from Zealman's Wizarding World. I keep trying to say my old channel name, but got it right this time.
We are Mike and Britt from the Wizard's Guide.
Hi.
And I'm Marcus from Uniting Wizards. Hello.
Hey y'all, I'm Professor Lynette from Wizard PhD.
Awesome. So we have gotten so many great questions from so many folks out there, so many awesome Harry Potter fans that are super stoked for this upcoming game and super excited to get their questions answered by some of you today. So I'm very thankful for that. Thankful to have you all here hanging out for the stream. Without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So with this first question, which was asked to me on Instagram, it was, with the new videos coming out about the game, what are you guys most excited about?
Well, this is a good one. Because I am stoked more about something else than I thought I was. I thought I was going to be more happy about doing the encounters, but actually with the snippet of some of the potion stuff, I'm quite looking forward to doing that, mixing potions and gathering ingredients. So I think it's kind of like from my old Final Fantasy days.
Oh yes, Final Fantasy. Definitely a Final Fantasy fan here too as well. I think to kind of pair with that, I was really surprised that we actually have so much in-depth RPG elements that's been announced as gameplay for this game, and that's something that I really wanted, and something that we've talked about in our earlier videos is like, how can they incorporate that into a mobile AR game? And it looks like they're trying to do that. So the in-depth RPG elements like professions and the fortresses that they're talking about.
I'm having a really hard time choosing something because I'm just looking forward to everything. Everything looks so awesome. But the wizarding challenges especially are exactly what I wanted from this game, so I'm going to pick that.
Yeah, I'm also going to agree. Multiplayer AR challenges. I'm like, my partner makes fun of me because I play WoW by myself. Like, everyone tries to invite me to their guild, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just, living my life. But I am excited for this, like, having my own little guild of friends where we're like, it matters what profession you are. That's so cool. And I wasn't expecting that. I wanted it for sure, but I wasn't expecting it. So I was very pleasantly surprised. That's going to be awesome.
Very neat. Yeah, definitely a lot of crazy excitement happening this past week. I was so glad that we actually had the stream scheduled. So we've had this scheduled for probably, 2-3 weeks now, and all these folks signed on pretty early on, just saying like, yeah, we want to do this. We're not really sure like what's going to be happening. And lo and behold, this past week we had awesome news come out. And actually, I was talking with the Wizard Guide, and we were going through some of the we would be kind of disappointed if this had come out, like if we had done our stream the weekend before, and then all the information came out on Monday. So perfect timing for this, and so much crazy hype happening for what this game is set to be. If you guys do have questions, by the way, you can go ahead and throw those in chat. We may get to those. We have a very long list of questions today, but I'm so excited because there's so much to dive into about kind of some of the specifics with Wizards Unite and some of how this game could actually be played and encouraged through our communities. So the next question that we have is, which profession are you going to focus on and why?
Okay, I feel like I've been struggling over this one for like about 4 months, even though we only had the news for like a week now, whatever. I think I am probably going to go for the professor, because I think it's going to be like a ranged support, and that's kind of what I used to like playing in more traditional RPG games. So I think I might go for that one. And I work at a college, so kind of got to do that.
That's perfect. I think I am going to lean more towards the Magizoologist, Hufflepuff, Newt Scamander. I think I may have a man crush on Newt Scamander. I don't know. But I just want to be Newt Scamander, and I think that's going to be awesome. Plus the support tanky role. I like playing that in MMOs.
I have been struggling because I didn't see mine on the list. I wanted to be a Death Eater, and there's nothing bad on the list. So I don't know. I guess it's a crapshoot at this point.
It's going to be, it makes for some pretty interesting videos if we do get the Death Eater option, and you're going to be on the bad side.
I just want to kill people.
Okay, then. I think I'm going to go for Professor because, well, it resonates with who I am as a person. I'm an academic and not really the horror type. And while I like animals, I don't like taking care of things. So yeah, I'm going to go with Professor. I also think that that's going to be the profession that the fewer people are going to choose. So it's going to be underrepresented, I think. And I like being in the underrepresented group.
So I'm also Professor. Just, I don't know, it makes sense for me. And yeah, basically, I'm open to other professions. Anything that focuses on puzzle stuff, that's going to be like my general theme of my responses today, I think. I'll lean more heavily towards building that up.
Awesome. Yeah, I am definitely leaning towards the professorship as well. I have, but what's really cool is that you don't have to pick one, right? And I think that's something that is really valuable, that you could just be a pretty well-rounded, all right wizard across the board, or you could be a triple awesome wizard and just be like the Albus of the world or something. All good things. So we'll see. We'll see how that ends up turning out, definitely. And I think once we see the actual skill tree for each of those, it'll be a little bit easier to decide further. But I'm pretty stoked to see about how this actually plays out in Wizards Unite. So, have your thoughts changed on the release date?
Well, considering it's March, then yes, I have. I'm thinking June now. I guess I was thinking March because I really wanted to be playing it. But as I got baby on the way in like 6 weeks' time, June is fine with me right now. It gives me like chance to build some content and some guides before actual releases. So hopefully they will drip feed us a few more game mechanics that we can do some videos on to pass the time. So yeah, definitely, I reckon June.
Well, in the last Q&A, I said 2020. So I guess it'll come out this year now. I hope so.
Yeah,
I just hope not when I'm giving birth. That's the only thing I care about.
Like Mark just said, we're also expecting around the same time frame as anticipated.
We're going to have matching YouTuber babies.
That's right. That's right. I'm still thinking, though, it's probably going to be in July. I know there's been some discussion that it may be mid-June based off some iOS things that
I feel like June makes more sense.
James from Expect to Go found some pretty cool things. So I could be June, but I'm looking more towards July still.
I've honestly stopped trying to speculate about when it's going to come because I've been wrong and I've had so many theories and I just don't know. I'm just going to be happy when it shows up.
So I definitely think summer. I'm also leaning towards July. Summer, so I'll talk about this probably a little later, but I don't really work in the summer, so I'm in education, and that would be perfect because I have also a lot of trips planned, and I'm going to Comic-Con San Diego this year, and last year I played a lot of Pokemon Go there with, tons of people in cosplay, so I'm really excited if the game is going to be out for that and working. That's also key.
Yeah, definitely. My response, even since last time, has not changed because I have said that it will be coming out soon. Soon. And that's the best answer because clearly that's what we've been hearing for a year and a half. So it's the Niantic approved answer there. No, I'm definitely leaning towards summer, and I'm pretty stoked to see how that turns out. Question 4. Which AR places do you hope to visit via port keys?
Right. Okay. I'm glad we got these questions a little bit ahead of time because I had to think about this one quite a lot. Because I'm kind of torn. Well, okay. So originally I was thinking like Ollivanders to go, but it won't be the one choosing experience. So I ruled that one out. So then I was thinking, what's the next coolest place? And I was thinking it's got to be Dumbledore's office with all the trinkets. So I'm glad I got the first question answer because I can say the best one, which is Dumbledore's office.
Yep. Oh man, you took it. I have a list. I have a list here. Ollivanders was on it, and Dumbledore's on it. One of the other things that I think would be really cool if they could, it depends on like how tech savvy they are with these port keys. If they could have motion involved with these port keys, how cool would it be to just walk into the middle of a Quidditch match, just seeing everybody flying around and be able to kind of watch the match for a few seconds through the port key? I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. My answer came very quickly to me because I really, really want to visit the Burrow because it sounds so cozy and I've been wanting to go there since I read about it the very first time. So I'm really hoping we'll get to see that.
So I have quite a few thoughts. Nocturne Alley, I don't know. I want to be like immersed, kind of like, I know in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, we kind of get that. But then I was trying to think of like, what are places that I don't really know of that well? So maybe like, I would love to visit Bellatrix in her Azkaban cell. I don't know. All the Hogwarts classrooms, of course. I'm really excited to kind of be in that space, if that's allowed. And definitely the Great Hall, especially during any sort of like holiday type events where it's like decorated. And maybe also a Quidditch game. That's like my spread.
I am hoping that they end up changing how we could actually experience the port keys depending on how high of a level we go within a specific profession. So I'm hoping that if we level up a lot in a professorship, we would go potentially to some of the schools. So go to like Durmstrang or Beauxbaton or Ilvermorny or some of those other school locations. So the more you focus on a professorship, the more you can do a school thing versus the other side, which would be if you're a magizoologist, maybe you could go to like deeper in the Forbidden Forest or some of those like very unique places for kind of focusing on fantastic beasts, as well as an Auror. So if you're an Auror, maybe you go to like 12 Grimmauld Place or I don't know, some kind of unique place that would be specific to high-level Aurors. And I think that would be a cool way to keep you engaged, excited, and build up some of the hype for the game. Moving on to question 5. Which real-world places do you hope to visit as part of the game?
Okay, going first is hard, man. Okay, I am like super lucky because I can actually go to a lot of the actual places. So last weekend I accidentally found myself in Hogwarts. I was going looking at a nice cathedral and walked around the corner and I thought, this corridor feels familiar. And then there was this like stand with all this Harry Potter stuff on it, and we thought it was a bit strange because we went to this cathedral like immediately, and I was like, why is this cathedral selling Harry Potter merchandise? Isn't that kind of like witches and Christianity, very odd combination? Yeah, at which point we realised a lot of the corridor scenes were filmed there. So yeah, I will be showing those off at a later point, but yeah, all the game news kind of put me off that video. So yeah, I'm going to go around London, so around the Eye, on the bridge, on the Millennium Bridge that got taken down in my mind's gone blank. Anyway, that last film. What else was it? I'm gonna find there's another castle up near New Arnwick Castle, which is another filming location. So I'm gonna try and do some of the real world locations.
We're season pass holders at Universal Orlando, so I'm sure we'll go there. I hope that they have cool stuff incorporated, like in Wizarding World.
They better.
Besides that, we have some sweet places here in Nashville that we do Pokemon Go at. So we'll do that, and probably from like the OR at the hospital, I'll be playing there.
Yep. We still have to scout our hospitals around town to figure out who has the most Pokestops currently, so we can choose where we're having our baby.
Okay, so I have been robbed of 2 trips to Universal Studios in Japan and their Harry Potter part. I was in Japan this fall, but and we had tickets then to the Universal Studios, but I ended up being too sick, so we couldn't go. And then we were going to go to Japan again on Monday, actually, but my fiance is having surgery next week, so we had to cancel that entire trip. So Universal Studios Japan is where I really want to go and experience this game.
Yeah, so Wizarding World of Harry Potter, any location, cool. Definitely want to travel near Mark and explore those areas as well. I want to go all over the world. So whatever sorts of like, if y'all have really cool places near you, let me know because I love to travel. I would love to go visit cool places. And I definitely, more than I do right now with Pokemon Go, want to do more exploration in sort of like natural kind of areas. So like national parks, maybe go to Yosemite or Niagara Falls. I don't even know if there's Pokestops in Niagara Falls, but like those sorts of spaces, especially national parks, that you kind of get immersed in this like magical setting. But honestly, since it's AR and like you can play anywhere, it kind of doesn't matter. Like you have this digital wizarding world at all places. Like it's going to be really cool.
Definitely. I am on board with national parks. I am very excited to see how some of that could be really uniquely incorporated. So going through a forest and seeing like magical creatures spawning, or I don't know, something that's kind of unique and out there. I have a lot of plans for traveling. I enjoy it. I flew like 36,000 miles last year or something. It was intense year of travel. I am hopeful to round out some of my natural wonders of the world. So far I've seen 2 natural wonders of the world, and I'm hoping to complete the 7 set there. So that's a goal. We'll see. We'll see if that rounds out this year, but I'm very hopeful for that. Cool. Question number 6. What do y'all do for work?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I work for a college. So UK college isn't quite the same as university. I work on the support side, and I do some boring stuff which is called business process management. It's basically electronic forms and directing stuff. Another one is automating systems. So when like students enroll, they automatically get like accounts created and emails and fancy things like that. So yeah, I'm a bit of a geek, I guess.
I work in communications here for the state of Tennessee. And I work in the technology department. We deal with some of the state departments here, and I pretty much dub myself the nerd translator. Anything that our team develops, I chat with our departments that we deal with to kind of translate to them so they understand what we do.
Yep.
What do you do?
I work in venture capital. So I just tell people it's like the show Shark Tank, but it's like more boring. Because we only do investments in like healthcare technology and real estate. So that's what I do.
I'm a translator and an archivist, but I've also worked with a bunch of other things. And currently, I'm actually not working at all. I'm on a sabbatical, focusing on creative endeavors like YouTube and writing and things like that. So I have all the time in the world to play this game if it comes out before my sabbatical ends.
And I'm a university professor. I do teacher education and educational research, primarily focused on elementary K-8 grades, so preparing future teachers, mostly in the subject area of mathematics, but I also branch out because it's K-8, it's across subjects, so I often do interdisciplinary type work as well.
Awesome. I'm an educator and a general enthusiast of all things Harry Potter, making those YouTube videos, right? So I think we all do lots of things. We are all very unique content creators, and there's a huge group of WooTubers out there. So if you have not yet, there's a hashtag for all of the WooTubers. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to their channels, give them some love, give them some support, tell them that you appreciate their videos, and help us become better content creators for you guys to produce things that are helpful for you, that give you guys inspiration to go out and play in the Muggle world. Question 7. What are you hoping Wizards Unite gameplay will offer you specifically for playing in each of your local areas?
Okay, this reminds me of an interesting chat we had in Discord about what rural play is, and then we came up with a whole new team which is called suburban play, which is what we're going to call now. Because a lot of people like say they're rural, but then they're Pokestop. They got like 2 Pokestops they can see from their house, and it's like, that's not really that rural. So yeah, I guess I'm suburban play. So I want to see how that goes. I also work in a town, so I can sort of compare the two. I think we have got some YouTubers which are definitely rural. From what I've been hearing about some people having some seriously long drives. So yeah, for me, I'm going to compare the two. I want to make sure that suburban play doesn't become stale. Because the moment with Pokemon Go, I'm kind of done with it now. Because every time I open it, it's just the same Pokemon. So I want to be the voice for suburban players.
Nice. Yeah. We read this question and we wrote down in our notes, clarify.
I wasn't sure what the question meant. I was like, I don't know. Give us a sponsorship. How about that?
Sure. For specifically, I guess, in our local community, I guess that word is kind of what we want, to continue happening. There's a really good community here in Nashville that plays Pogo quite a bit. There's Facebook groups and Discord channels, a pretty solid following for raids and things. So I'm just hoping that kind of continues on with
Come on over.
Wizard Unite. Yeah, come on over to the dark side and to the wizarding world.
Yeah, I moved to an entirely new town that I had never been to before, sort of, about a month ago, and I'm just hoping to be able to explore this new area that I don't know anything about, and find new friends. Because I'm not very good at making friends, so I hope this game will help me do that.
Yeah, for sure. Just building on the communities that, every local place kind of has their Pokemon Go communities and building that up. So like one of the things that I really like about Pokemon Go events is the legendary raid stuff like Articuno Day, for example, because you actually need a bunch of people to play and take down the raid boss. So even though it's kind of casual friends for an hour or two, it's a lot of fun. So just adding to this is kind of what I do in terms of social interactions and experiences. And so building on that, especially with Harry Potter, which has such a rich story and lore and all of that, people are going to get really into it. So just building on things that people love is, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I am in a similar predicament to Marcus at Uniting Wizards, where I recently moved to kind of a new area and want to just explore a little bit more about it, because I think there's a lot of cool things that I haven't seen yet, and I feel like Niantic did a really good job. Every time that I went traveling last year, every time that I met a new place or a new encounter, I was really excited to use kind of the Pokemon Go AR platform as a way of a tour of the city in a weird way. So I would just go to a new place and pop open Pokemon Go and see, oh, there's a cool stop over here. I'm going to walk that direction and see what it is. And that was a really cool way to use an AR technology to bring me back to reality in some ways and kind of see what different cities had to offer, which was really neat. So let's get into some sparking, debating questions. Which of you use Android versus Apple phones versus Windows phones?
Ooh. Okay, I'm definitely an Android user. So I'm quite happy about the Play Store early pre-release things. If anyone hasn't done that, you need to do that now. Although I'm pretty sure the game's going to be released on both platforms at the same time. Expecto Go went through quite a lot of detail about why it's not on iOS, so you can check out their channel for more information on that. Now, I remember when 4G came out, and I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be super fast, and it's going to be the most amazing thing ever. And it took about a year and a half for the town I work in, the big town, to get it. And in the suburban area that I'm in, I barely get 4G now, and it's been out for donkey's years. Now 5G requires a lot more infrastructure than 4G did, so it's going to be another half time more. So I am not rushing out to buy a 5G phone yet until I checked the maps, and I know it's available in my suburban area. and then I'll probably buy a Huawei and have the Chinese spy on me.
That's awesome. We are also both Android users as well, so we were thrilled to see that pre-register option in the Play Store. Like
We're
Mark,
both due for an upgrade though. So
Oh, yes.
once 5G is available on phones, then we'll just upgrade to one of those.
Yep. Yeah, I think both of our phone models are about 3 years old, so we're patiently waiting to see what we need to get. But like Mark said, if you do have a Android and you do have Google Play, make sure you go hit that pre-register button.
Yeah, I'm also an Android user. I have a Samsung Galaxy S9, and before that I had a S7 and an S5 and an S3. So I'm likely upgrading when the 11 comes out, I guess.
So I had a Note 5, which had, well, it still does, terrible battery life. So I switched to iPhone. So I have both, and we'll see. Yeah, I'll be using both if I need to.
I am an Apple user and have been for some time now, so I'm a little disappointed in that I do not have the pre-registration yet for Wizards Unite, but that is okay because we know that it is coming soon. Soon is the forever term, right? So hopefully we'll get some info on that. Now, with all the talk of 5G being available on Samsung phones first, are you thinking about grabbing a Samsung or wait for your provider and your phone to offer 5G?
Yeah, I'm just definitely going to wait for the provider because I just know it's going to take forever. So I've got the P20 Pro at the moment, and I bought that like a year ago. So I ain't changing anytime soon.
Yeah, we'll probably wait for the providers to have the 5G availability as well. I think it's going to be nice that phones will have the 5G functionality, but it's going to take a little while for that to be widespread.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Samsung now, so I'm sticking around.
Yeah, also wait. I mean, it's possible I might have a channel investment, but I don't know. I think that it makes more sense to wait.
Yeah, I am definitely on the waiting game, and Apple actually has not announced their draft of when they're going to bring 5G onto iPhones, so it might be a while before iPhones even get 5G capability, but that's okay because a lot of cities don't have it yet. So I'm cool with that. Do you think that 5G will unlock special features or be essential for gameplay?
So I don't think it'll ever be essential because you're going to absolutely kill rural players because they ain't gonna get 5G for years. I think it will unlock features, but I don't think those features are in game yet. So I think we're still looking a couple of years down the line, and I think we'll be looking at something like Wizard Duels, and I think we must be doing some Quidditch because everybody wants to play Quidditch.
Sure. We actually just did a video that kind of covered this more in depth, but kind of like Mark said, I think that the game is going to come out. It's going to be 4G ready. We're going to be able to play all the uniting awesomeness between the Wizards that they have to offer currently in 4G. And then when 5G is available, I think that may be when we may see some interaction with that codename Neon gameplay that we've seen, which could end up being some Wizard duels. So I think it's going to be something that will be added as an enhancement in the game down the road for sure. It's not going to be needed though.
I mean, I don't know a lot about 5G, so I can't really add anything except I agree, based on everything that I've heard, it's not going to be essential, but it's going to unlock some cool new stuff whenever it does come out.
Yeah, I agree with everyone else. So just as AR is not required to fully play the game, it's probably going to unlock different kinds of features. I also think that, so like the way that it was phrased but in one article of like your forever Harry Potter game, like they have some big visions for sorts of things that they can do. So I wrote in my notes to myself, like I could see it becoming baseline for gameplay in like 20 years, but I don't know if that's a reasonable timeline, but 20 was like the number that popped in my head because I think I'll for sure still be playing this game in 20 years.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't even want to tell you how much I like Ravenclawed out over 5G when it started. I spent a ton of time doing research and watching videos and reading articles about how 5G works and what to unlock. And I made a video about it, about what I think Wizards Unite could become with it, but I don't think that it would be essential for gameplay. I think it's too restrictive for people because it's not in most cities. It's not something that's available for most people. Most phones don't offer it. So I think it'd be too limiting for Niantic and WB Games San Francisco to go ahead and develop into their platform at this point in time. But I think it's going to add some features in the future for sure. And I think that would be a really neat way to do some of that multiplayer interactive type gaming, which I'm super, super excited for. Once again, I want to thank everyone for being here. We're going to keep going with some of these questions. If you have not already, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button for all these YouTubers that are here to answer your questions. Thank you so much for those that have asked questions already. Moving on to the next one. What themed or holiday events would you like to see in Wizards Unite?
All of them. So I was initially down like the Halloween route because I was thinking, oh yeah, because you got the werewolves and we could have ghosts encounters with all the Hogwarts ghosts. And then I remember doing Hogwarts in the Snow at One Brothers tour, and I thought that'd be pretty cool for the portkeys that you could portkey into like the snow-covered Hogwarts and the Great Hall at Christmas time with the big trees up. So do I have to pick one? I'd probably go for the Christmas one, I think.
I don't really care as long as you do it. That's because it keeps the game from getting stale. Like back before on Pokemon Go, before we had like events and holidays and stuff, it would get really monotonous. So as long as you do something, but for Halloween, because I like candy a lot.
Yeah.
Honeydukes.
That'd be cool if they incorporate Honeydukes somehow into a Halloween event.
If it shoots candy out of my phone, like the charging port,
Yeah,
right in my mouth
candy.
hole.
I like it. And just to throw on top of that too, I'll probably, with some of these other questions coming up, reference World of Warcraft. It's come up already. I think Lynette may have mentioned that in one of her answers. But they do an awesome job of really like immersing you into the holiday spirit in those games. They have Christmas trees and pumpkins out. It would be really cool if they somehow were able to throw a Christmas tree up on your map as you're walking around, sitting by an inn or something. Just to add that.
They wouldn't do it early enough for you. You put your tree up like Halloween.
Halloween 31st over, November 1st, Christmas lights come up.
That would be really cool to see, like the world around you through AR decorated in the different holidays. I would love to see what the game does with Easter, because Easter is rarely even mentioned in the Harry Potter books, and so we don't really know what Easter is like in the Wizarding world, except that it does exist. And I love Easter. It's all about colors and candy, and that's my stuff. So I really want to see that.
So I'd love some Halloween chaos. Like I would love to relive the troll in the bathroom memory. And also fun things like maybe have Fred and George come back for some April Fool's shenanigans. I don't know. I like holidays. And so like what Mike said about with World of Warcraft, I really enjoy that aspect of like how like seasonally or whatever it changes, and it just makes it more interesting.
I am so hopeful that they do some back to school events. I really think it would be neat to have some, like the first event for the game being a back to school, like big open event talking about the Calamity and some of the challenges that have been faced and encountered already by the SOS task force and what we need to continue doing. I think that'd be a great way to introduce something that's, I mean, not technically a holiday, but something that I think could be a really cool way to grow the game and not have it kind of stagnate off right after summer, because a lot of kids are going back to school. So I think that's important to make sure you add new events, new things to keep the fan base growing and continue the excitement and the hype there. Additionally, and I've said this for a while, so coming from the California Universal Studios, they do a Halloween Horror Nights there, and for years they have continued to close Hogwarts. You're not allowed to go inside during the Halloween event, and I think it's such a missed opportunity. So if Universal has suddenly tuned into our live stream, get on it, because I need some Dementors like flying around and freaking everyone out, because that would be awesome. Sweet. So, tuning in, for those of you that just tuned in, we are continuing our question and answer series here for Harry Potter Wizards Unite. We are all so stoked about this. These are all content creators rapidly researching wonderful things to answer your guys' tough questions and hopefully give you guys some great answers for what you are wondering about. This next question is, what do you think of the footage / gameplay we've seen so far? Was it what you were hoping for?
Yes, I quite liked it. I was looking at the spell tracing. That's the thing I was really concentrating on because we knew it'd be some sort of draw mechanic. And at first I was like, oh yeah, I want to make it really complex, so you have to know the spells and cast the right ones. And yeah, collectively we came to the idea that was a little bit too complex. So I think the middle ground that they picked was perfect. It's kind of what I was after. So the spell trace accuracy and the speed thing, I think is the perfect mechanic. And then I was trying to look at like hardware, like how would they do hardware and like with wands, and I can't work out how they integrate that. So anyway, I'll put that and I'll park that for now. But yeah, I'm kind of wishing we saw fortresses a little bit. I would like to have seen a fortress encounter to see like how we support each other, and when you go into a room and you pick a target, how that kind of mechanic works. But I think we learned a lot about our day-to-day gameplay in that set of videos, I think.
I mean, I was freaking excited. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was something else. I never thought that they would have so many RPG elements in it. And that's what Mike and I wanted. Like, I've got my Dungeons and Dragons on today. So when I saw how much was being incorporated, I thought maybe it wasn't real.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm stoked though.
We had theorized for a while all these different ideas, RPG elements, and we're like, oh, they probably won't be able to do all of this. And then it's like, wow, they actually are trying to do some of this stuff, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I don't really have a coherent answer for this, except I really love everything that we've seen. It's a lot of stuff that I was hoping for and a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting. Like Mark said, I'm also looking forward to seeing like the wizarding challenges and more footage of the things that we've only heard about, because I really want to see what that actually looks like. But I love everything we've seen so far.
Yeah, I also was surprised. Although I guess it kind of makes sense. So Pokemon Go players have been asking for more complex features in the game for a while. And I'm telling you, Niantic, they have this vision. And so they, especially as these technologies are becoming developed and as they're figuring it out and being able to scale it up, like, we are getting into this like very immersive AR experience on our mobile phones, which is crazy. So I was absolutely blown away, but I'm also glad that this is the starting point because it's only going to be, much better and crazier moving forward with more advancements.
I think my brain broke on Monday. It felt like there was 1,000 things happening at the same time, and I had like 20 articles to read and then remember what I read in each of them, which did not happen because I think I had to go back and read like each of them and like kind of storyboard out like, oh, this one came from this article and this came from this article, and have to piece it all together and figure out what's going on. I was so happy. I was more information that they've given about this game ever. This is the most information we've seen thus far, which is crazy. And they incorporated so many different tech articles, tech researchers out there, which I think is a cool way to bring in their expertise and some of their knowledge about what they provide and what they've seen in other games and compare like back and forth. And overall, I think we're seeing that it's not a Pokemon reskin, which is the thing that everyone was most worried about in I think in the WooTube community, but also just the Wizards Unite folks at large, that it's not just, oh, here's Pokemon Go again in a different way. But they've really from what it seems, Niantic has outdone themselves, especially at launch, because we're going to have so much going on, so many storylines, so many different features in play, and it's crazy awesome how exciting it is, and what we're actually going to be able to play and present to you, which is I have about 20 videos planned right now, and I'm sure a lot of the other folks here do as well. So moving on from that, what do you think that the three professions relate to Hogwarts houses, as in the same type of personality split?
Yeah, I try to translate this question. I thought it was actually quite a fascinating, because it's actually a lot of thinking in this, because there probably is quite a lot of reasons why people would choose different professions, as in like personality types. And I was trying to think about why I picked certain things in certain RPGs, and yeah, I don't run for tanking, and I'm a bit of a strategist, so I think it maybe not necessarily relate to the Hogwarts houses, but more relate to people's personality types. But yeah, I'm actually dying to see how the Hogwarts houses are going to play out in this game, because you select them, so it'd be interesting to see what they're going to build in the future. Maybe special events come to our houses.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they do. It was like my first thought when Mike was reading them off to me. I don't know that they like really thought through it real well, but I feel like it was meant to be that way. Like the Aurors would match up with Gryffindor, Magizoologist with the Hufflepuffs, and then the professors would obviously be Ravenclaw. But you know what we're missing? Freaking Death Eaters. Where are we supposed to go? Where are the Slytherins supposed to go?
Slytherin.
So they got left off there.
Yeah, you have a very good point there. I mean, I can see that same split, and I feel like the Slytherins have just not gotten any love. But on the other hand, I'm like, I lost my train of thought there. No, but I can see people from all the houses in all the professions, because again, there are many different reasons why you would choose a certain profession. And yes, I'm a Ravenclaw, and I'm probably going to be a professor, and that seems like it's perfect. But on the other hand, I mean, we've seen professors from all the different houses, so I don't really think that it's a clear-cut thing between a house and which profession you have.
Yeah, so I went through the YouTubers list because we know each other's houses, and so not everyone's decided. So right now we see some Gryffindors going to our Ravenclaw professors, except for our Slytherin. You're a professor, but you're I think that we could come up with some sort of correlation. So anything where you're trying to assign metrics or categorize or group people is never going to be complete. This is just the struggle of being a human and having different kinds of ways in terms of identities, how we relate to ourselves and others. But I think it might have to do more, or the split might have to do more with gameplay style rather than personality type or house. But again, those things, you might be able to draw correlations across, but depending on how, and even Mark said it in his response of how do you like to play games? And that might be more of a determining way to predict or factor that in.
Yeah, and it's hard without knowing more information or more data points. And once we get that, I think it'll be a little bit easier, providing that we could see who signed up for which houses and who signed up for which professions, or who's focusing more on specific professions. I don't know if we'll ever get that data set, because like I said, in the professions you can pick one, you can pick all, you can pick two. It depends on how your play style is and what you want to level up yourself. And yes, I am a Slytherin, and yes, I am focusing likely on the professorship, and that was based on life experience, as well as I think most of the time that's my play style, and that's kind of what I focus on, and how you can kind of be a nice, well-rounded kind of feature in that way. But I'm waiting. I'm going to see what the what the actual tech trees are, and what we can develop and grow in. So I'm excited about that. Also, for those of you who have not heard yet, if you are planning on doing a profession and you pick certain skills in that tree, you can't remove them, from what everyone has been saying online. So be really careful. Once you pick a skill point, it's there. It might be something in the future that they roll out as a feature to pull it back or reassign points, but at this time, there's not an indication of that. So be careful when you're picking those. Plan them out. Think wisely. Be the inner Ravenclaw that is in you. So next question. That was a really good one. Are you planning on taking a day off work the first day that Wizards Unite comes out?
I also have opportunity to work from home, which may be... I kind of need all my holiday I can get for the baby, so that's my official answer if my wife is watching. I also got to say a shout out to I Am Ryzen, who just subscribed to me. Thank you very much. It'd be nice if it fell on a Saturday. But yeah, I think if it does drop on a weekday and there are no immediate baby duties, I may be quickly WhatsApping my boss to say I've got some urgent appointments I need to do and can I have the day off? But yeah, I think I'll definitely be doing that. I couldn't sit at work. I couldn't be at work. I'll be sitting there going, the game's out and I'm sitting there at my desk. What can I do? You know. So yeah, I think it'd be a productionless day if I had to stay at work.
Yep, similar answer here. I'm so worried that they're just going to surprise us and say, hey, today the game's out, have fun. And I won't be able to plan ahead and say, hey, I'm going to be off in a month. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that they are.
Take a sick day.
Oh,
I hope none of your work people are watching this.
They might. I don't know. But I would most definitely take a sick day. Sorry, I'm just going to be honest. But hopefully they do release it. They have a release date announcement to where we can plan ahead a little bit, so we don't have any responsibilities that day. But I think with us specifically,
I'm quitting parenting that day.
I'm
just going to leave my kids to take care of themselves. Bye, y'all.
Yeah, the plan is though, for me at least, to try to take that day off and hang out with the family and play it for sure.
I mean, I'm lucky, again, like I said in the beginning, I don't work right now, so I can take a day off from doing whatever I plan to do whenever. So as long as the game comes out before I have to start working again, I'm all good. If I do have to work, I'm probably actually not taking a day off because I would feel so horrible about being away from work. I'm too responsible for that.
So this is why I'm hoping for a summer release. So again, I have a 10-month contract from year to year, and so my summer employment varies. So sometimes I work during the summer and sometimes I don't. This summer, I am not working. I have a lot of trips planned. So I'm hoping for that summer release. If it comes out in fall, we might have some issues. But I'm creative. I could probably integrate it into my lesson plan for my students. I don't know. We'll see.
So my first answer was yes, that I was taking a day off of work for this, and then it was no, I'm not taking one day off from work. I'm taking like a week or two. My third answer was no, I'm not taking any time off. I will be recording and doing editing and making sure that everyone is super stoked about this game and has information about it as best as possible. So yes and no. Yes, I plan on taking some time off. No, I'm not working. So I think the workaholism within me just drives me to continue to keep creating, and that'll be a lot of coffee, a lot of little sleep, and a lot of coffee, and a lot of editing and green screening and everything else you could think of. But yes, time off work, hopefully. So we'll see. I'm very hopeful that it comes out in May because I'm planning on doing some trips, and we'll see. I'm hoping to meet up with Wizard Trick Keelan, hang out with him for a little bit out in LA. So that's an upcoming planned trip and adventure, and I'm sure we will do some collaborative stuff. Hopefully we get the game by then, but we'll see. Next question. Will you go out at night / in the rain, snow, wind to get some special goodies?
Well, coming from the UK, I have to go out in the rain, otherwise I'll not get any content out. At the moment it's blowing an absolute gale and I have to walk the dog, so I have to go out every day regardless. What equipment I can take with me if it's raining and snowing, it might end up be the old telephone and a clip-on mic for those recordings, because my camera ain't waterproof and my lights are not waterproof either. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be going out. Whether you get any content or not from if it's horrendously raining, we'll have to see.
I took our teenager out one night in Nashville Pokemon hunting, and I was like, I don't even remember what it was, but I was desperate to get this stupid thing. So we parked the car in a no park zone, and we were running around Nashville in the pouring rain. And lesson learned, I ruined my phone. It does not recognize charger cables now. So will I? Yeah, because I'm stupid. But I will try to remember to, an umbrella, because that's normal. People have those.
Umbrellas are important.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely going out no matter what the weather is. And I am a little bit scared about how I'm going to get content out in the middle of winter here in Sweden because it's very cold and my camera and my phone are going to die. So I'm going to have to figure that out somehow. But I'm definitely going out no matter what to find these special things.
So where I live right now, I'm very spoiled because it's like literally sunny all the time. It's like 300 plus days of sunshine, but that may change if I'm traveling or, you know, somewhere else. Yeah, I have a couple of videos on my channel right now where I played Pokemon Go, and in the summertime, my camera died. And I had, well, it was like overheated and my phone overheated. So I had to like literally sit in the shade for a while. So I do have that issue. And I've never played in the snow, but if I were prepared for it, like maybe I'll hit up Zoe from Snitches and Witches and she can tell me like how to play in the snow because I'd have no idea. If I am prepared for it, I will do it. But I also don't want to, like everyone else is saying, ruin my equipment because that would not be good for anyone. So if we could get like a Wizards Unite survival pack for across climates and seasons, that would be cool too.
Yeah, definitely. I have played some in the snow and I've played in the rain before, but I have not recorded in either of them. Actually, that's not true. I recorded in the snow a little bit ago. I used an umbrella to like try and block the snow, which was a challenge because I'm like holding a camera and an umbrella in one hand and then my phone in the other, and it's fun. It's fine. It's something. It's not ideal to play. I'd say I'd prefer wind over snow, but I'd prefer snow over rain. In that, I remember playing Pokemon Go for a Mewtwo raid and a pouring rain day, and it's the worst. I mean, snow, it's a little bit easier to like avoid. It's just colder. I'm okay with colder if everything can survive, including my camera, and I think that's the biggest concern there. So hopefully, but we'll definitely see. And special goodies are going to be a reward for those. So I'd also say it depends on what special goodies come from that and what you can really gain for doing the specialty weather related things. So definitely we'll have to see with that, and hopefully we get some good rewards for going out and being encouraged to like continue to keep moving and be active, which is Niantic's goal, right? So are you going to choose your profession depending on what your friends choose to make a better team? So you're trying to coordinate with those around you, make that team, or are you planning on just kind of picking what you want and saying everyone else should be something else because I'm being this?
I think, yeah. So the short answer is no. I'm not choosing a profession because when we've gone out on raids, there've been like for 15 of us sometimes, and a group size is usually 8 to 10. So I think there's enough diversity in a group to be able to swap around. And someone remind me who did the survey about who's going to be what, but it's relatively evenly balanced out. I think what might be a problem is what we pick on the skill tree, because you could really make someone heavily defensive and be an aura, and then have someone other random combination, which we haven't seen yet because we don't know what they are. But I think the skill tree may be actually more important for balancing their teams than the actual profession because there's more choices.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The skill tree may be more important for sure. I think just in general, I know before I started playing World of Warcraft, the group of people that were trying to get me involved in that game, they kind of were suggesting what class I should play just because they needed a healer. Hey, you should play a priest or a paladin. So it comes into play a little bit. I think for me, I will want to help the team out best I can. But
that's real sweet of you.
It is real sweet. It's real Hufflepuffy, I guess. But
you're such a Hufflepuff. I wouldn't. I'll play whatever I want to play.
Even a Death Eater.
I'm sticking with my Death Eater.
Yeah, again, I just moved to a new town, so I don't really have any friends around that I know that I'm going to play with. I might play a bit with my fiance, but she's probably not going to play the game quite as much as I will. So I'm going to choose my profession based on what I want to do. And then we'll just hope that that fits in with whatever group I end up being part of.
Yeah, I definitely am starting out professor. But I'm also a major fan of balance, so I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. And bringing up the skill tree is really an important point, I think, in making that happen as well. Right now, I only have one semi-permanent spot filled on my team. It's my partner, but he doesn't know what he's going to play yet. He's kind of like, I could do any of it. But again, like we're both waiting for more information before we make those determinations. But I'm definitely for those rare rewards. So whatever balanced and most effective team that I can have, I'm definitely going to try to make that happen.
Yeah, I'm definitely for a balanced team as well, but I'm definitely going to tell other people how to run their lives because I think that's the better option because then I can do what I want. Not to say that I need to do what I want, but I need to do what I want. So likely to be high on the professor's skill tree, which is already looking like it's going to be an underrepresented class that from some of those preliminary findings from the Wizards Unite hub with their tweets asking about what everyone's focused on. It looks like we're going to have a lot of Aurors out there, which means I think that's a good thing because you can have a lot of strong Aurors and I'm sure some of them will fall off just like any game, but over time, we're going to have a pretty solid class of Aurors, pretty solid class of Magic Zoologists, and pretty solid professors. And you just got to find out how you want to pick your team for the 5 folks that are able to enter the fortress and do whatever collective group tasks that we can do. Alrighty, so this next question is what displaced memory are you looking forward to seeing in the game?
This is quite fun. Because I read this question and simultaneously my brain just played back the entire Harry Potter series. I got through a few options. Like one was like I would like to see similar like Marauders kind of flashbacks. The things like I'm a Snape fan, but when they had Snape hanging upside down and some of the things like that, I kind of thought it'd be quite an interesting thing to see. But I also thought I kind of went for the Unbreakable Vow as my favourite. I would like to see that in game, so with the Bellatrix and everything, that would be pretty cool.
So I've really thought about this. I'm thinking anything Cedric Diggory or like 7th year Neville, I'd be down for. Mike approves. Anything 7th year Neville, just throw that onto my phone. I'm good with that.
Works for me.
Yeah, I don't really have a specific scene in mind, but I have a character, and I would love to encounter Professor McGonagall at any part of her life because she is awesome. She is my favorite character by far, so I want to see her.
So this might sound grim, but I kind of want to see the Battle of Hogwarts from multiple perspectives. So like going off of Britt talking about Neville, what was Neville's full like experience, or like following him around in like that sort of space, or even like the house elves, Bellatrix. I'm obsessed with Bellatrix, if you couldn't tell. Or Nagini. I don't know. Like I think that there's what's really cool about this like stepping into space and having that 360 view is that I think that there's opportunities to, yes, like relive some of these memories, but also potentially tell these stories from slightly different viewpoints. I don't know. I don't know if that's like something they're interested in or if anyone else thinks that that's interesting, but that's appealing to me. Alternatively, I would also like to see what was Dumbledore like as a student? Like I have some ideas in my head, but like I would love to see that kind of play out. So I don't know. I'm interested if they want to bring out some new stories or things that we haven't visually seen yet in the Harry Potter or Wizarding world. I mean, I would be all for that.
Awesome. So I am also in a similar boat to a lot of these folks here of different people that I would really like to see in Wizards Unite. However, I think that my main one at this point is I would really, really like to see some of the what's happened since the Hogwarts time frame. So the Golden Trio, what's happened to them, what have they been up to? And I think that could be a cool way to incorporate a little bit more story without throwing us for a loop on canon and bring us up to speed of what happened after the second battle of Hogwarts, what happened after Voldemort's falling and what do we know now? Where is this calamity coming from? Stuff like that. So hopefully we see a little bit more of that in game and in the portmantis. Oh man, it's gonna be so hard to talk about. I'm so sorry, guys. It's gonna be a struggle. I'm gonna get it. I swear. Uh, we'll have a professorship meeting and talk about the proper pronunciation of some of these wonderful words. But the Portkey lifestyle, right? Those Portkey lives. So, do you have any theories on what caused the calamity?
It's portmanteaus. We did see the GIF. No, I have no idea. I was kind of thinking along the lines of Dark Wizards, and that's kind of boring. And then someone was saying about wizards and technology getting together and then creating some sort of craziness. I quite like that idea. So yeah, I ain't got a clue. I'm quite looking forward to actually working out what it's going to be. I kind of hope it's not going to drag on like Ingress storyline has, because that's kind of like been a bit of a puddle. It got boring after a while, but I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be boring.
I don't know. I'm sticking with my answer from the last Q&A. I think millennials. I'm not good at figuring this stuff out. What do you think?
Yeah, it could be millennials. I don't know. It's something that I've kind of tried to start thinking about, but I haven't really wanted to dive down that rabbit hole too much. Initially, like the first thing when I started to see, these displaced memories being mentioned, I just wanted to like immediately just go to like time travel. There's some sort of time thing happening, and who could be causing this time weirdness. And we've seen Death Eaters as people that were fighting in screenshots and stuff. And so I'm like, initial thoughts is maybe Voldemort's followers are somehow trying to bring him back, and they've caused this weird time vortex thing to keep popping up through the game, and that's why we're getting these displaced memories popping up to where we have to live through those. So I don't know. Voldemort, sure, we'll go with that, because that seems to be a common answer when there's something bad going on in the Harry Potter universe.
Okay, so I do have a theory about this. I made a video about it a while ago, and it got kind of complicated, but basically my theory is that it is a natural phenomenon and something like a worldwide obscurus that is being caused by magical people not using up all the magic that is building up in the world, either because there aren't enough magical people to do that anymore, because, yeah, they are becoming fewer because of inbreeding and stuff like that. So that's basically my theory. I think it's something naturally occurring and not someone behind it.
Yeah, I watched Marcus's video, and it's really good. You should definitely check it out. So the last stream, I brought up Muggle technology. I also brought up my conversations with Zoe about conspiracies, about it, like, whatever. We don't have to get into that. But I don't know, like, it could be hackers, it could be scientists, like, advancing science. I guess, like, what I think at the moment is I'm not convinced that it's necessarily malicious. So what I mean by that is I think it could be an accident. I don't think that it necessarily has to be someone bad or a group of people that's bad trying to cause chaos. I'm not sure at this point.
Yeah, I have a lot of theories, but I don't have any of them like written down in front of me right now. So I could probably go for days just talking about some crazy speculation that I've had about what's been going on and how we got to this point of worldwide calamities happening. Clearly, from what we've seen, it seems like it's affecting everything, which to me says that it's not something to do with like a ministry department, though it could, I suppose. But I would say it's like an international problem. It's something that's been impacted. Maybe by some of the folks that have been like regulating rules for international affairs, or some sort of like collective governing body that made some bad decisions. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they have some cool like backstory of how this actually happened, and it seems like we're going to get that once the game comes out. But I'm missing out on some of this key information here that we need to be able to hyper generate some crazy fan theories about what could potentially happen in the Harry Potter Wizards Unite series coming this year, right? Is that my safe answer? I think that's my safe answer. So Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of ideas, but I'm definitely not the best for some of these conspiracy theories. We got some good WooTubers out there though, so if y'all need some WooTubers to recommend, go ahead and throw those in the chat, and I'm sure we'll throw some back to you. Make sure, by the way, if you have not already, to subscribe to all these lovely folks that are here with me today. All of their descriptions or all of their channels are linked in the description. There's cards up in the corner here, so if you have not already, please make sure that you do so, because I'm sure they would all appreciate having you, keeping you around for the journeys that they're about to go on. This next question is based on the gameplay videos. It looks like we're going to have kind of like a point and trace the spell, the shape on screen. Do you think it would be cooler to have an actual wand that could be used for pointing and spell casting? So something that would be like a Bluetooth device similar to this, as in Pokemon Go's Go Plus feature. Do you think we're going to have some sort of Go Plus wand or Adventure Plus wand or something?
So I was distracted slightly by the conversation in the chat. See, yes, a short answer is I do think it'd be cooler, but looking at how easy it is to get a trace wrong and how easy it is to like lose your skill, the device that you have to do the same thing would have to have some pretty accurate tracking, because if you get slightly wrong in the spell movement, you need to be able to lose some of the spell potency. So it would be cooler. It would be expensive. I think it would be quite an expensive device. But would I buy one? Yes, I would definitely buy one.
Well, I mean, I feel like there would be a lot of issues. It would only work half of the time. But I'm really not concerned with things like reality. I'm going to just run around with my wand, regardless of if it has anything to do with the game. Yeah. I will probably look like a crazy person, but that is no different than like any other day.
Every minute of our lives.
So I'm bringing my wand, and hopefully they make it work with the game.
Yeah, we already have the interactive wands from the Wizarding World in Orlando, and just incorporate it. Those are kind of expensive, so just like
they
use
already
that technology,
cost us
right?
a butt ton, so do it on those.
It would be super cool though to have the wands for sure.
Yeah, I also think it would be really, really cool to have a wand. But just like Mark said, I'm worried it wouldn't really be able to track properly how you're tracing the spells. So possibly it could exist, but just not be as effective as doing it on the screen. Just like the Go Plus doesn't do curveballs and stuff like that. If they do release one, I'm definitely going to buy it, regardless of if it's effective or not, because it would be really cool and really fun.
Same. I think that we all think it's really cool and would definitely buy it. But I think that I would want it to be integrated with wearables. Like, I don't want my phone then. Then I have my wand, I have my glasses, and I'm just, I don't know, fully on immersed in the world. So just sign me up for that.
So I think that I'm going to be a sucker for this, and that it doesn't really matter what they release, I'm going to get it. So regardless of how cool I think it is, would I like something like it? Sure, but I don't think that it will be able to do what I want it to do without it costing a ton of money. So I don't see it as something that's going to be able to like point or do some sort of like spell motion, because the ones at the Wizarding World, the interactive ones, because I have one as well. Shout out to the Universal Studios for creating something really unique, but they require near field communication, so it's reading a sensor, and that way you would move your wand in a specific direction and then you would cast your spell. Not a Bluetooth device, and that I don't know how well they could do that without certain weights or some sort of metric in it, and it's, I would assume, very complex to make, and not necessarily what I'd want. I think the idea of a wearable or something that's compact, easy to bring with me, like I bring this traveling, so that way I could walk by and like pick up items as I go, or catch Pokemon, or just walk around cities and stuff. So I think it's kind of a unique way that they could incorporate it. Would I use a wand? Heck yeah, I'd use a wand. Walk around city like yelling Expelliarmus at like all the Muggles as they're walking by, just ruin the Calamity as I encourage the Statute of Secrecy to be broken. I think that's definitely going to be me and Team Brit here. So next question. Sweet. So question 18, for those of you that have been counting, what do you think the equivalent of Pokemon Go Stardust will be in the game?
Okay, so this one, Okay, so if we have Stardust makes your Pokemon better, in my opinion, the Wizards Unite equivalent would be making your skill tree better, and that is kind of already there. So looking at some of the UI design and some of the articles, it does mention like the scrolls. So you complete an encounter and you get scrolls, and those scrolls are your credits towards between upskilling your skill tree. And then there's the books, and from what we know so far, from what people are saying, is the books come from doing the big raid encounters. So yeah, I think that is the equivalent.
Well, we just did a video that is it hasn't been posted yet, so I don't want to go too far into it, but I think that what did we call them? Skill points?
Skill points
is what we're calling, like how much it costs to acquire a skill on the skill tree. And I think that those will be a hot commodity. I think that's probably going to be the closest thing, don't you think?
Yeah, I think improving your Pokemon and Pokemon Go uses Stardust. Improving your character wizard.
Have fun. My mom just randomly got here, so I'm gonna go.
Wow! Right, live stream with the family here. But skill points would be the equivalent of improving your wizard, your character. So I think that would be kind of what I would view as the equivalent. I think Mark kind of handled that a little bit on his answer as well.
Yeah, I wish I had an answer to this, but I just don't feel like I know enough about this game in particular and games like this to really speculate about that. So I'm just going to say that what you guys said makes sense to me, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I was having trouble also coming up with something. The only thing that I could come up with was spell energy, but I don't think it necessarily fits like as a parallel. But there's probably a stat or metric that we haven't seen yet in any of the gameplay or, screenshots that we've seen. So that's probably that. But yeah, not really much information.
Yeah, instead of giving you guys a false answer, I'm going to hold back for a little bit. I'm going to wait for some more information before just saying this is what Stardust is going to be. I've done a lot of theories and speculations that I would say a percentage of them have not turned out correctly. So I will not go ahead and speculate a little bit further on that, but I am excited to see how they could upgrade some of our stats or upgrade some of our skills using some sort of Stardust-like item. It's just I'm not sure what that's going to be at this point, and I'll wait and see. I definitely like to see what they end up incorporating. So how feasible will it be to play Pokemon Go and Wizards Unite at the same time? Same in single quotes, just kind of discussing the ideology of like how much is it going to be pulling away from folks that have been focused on Wizards Unite for the last few years, focused on Pokemon Go for the last few years, and then if Wizards Unite's very RPG, AR intensive, time consuming, do you feel like that's going to be a struggle for folks that want to do both?
So they did the Adventure Sync stuff, which kind of helps you incubate your eggs while you're playing other games, such as Wizards Unite. I think the timing of that feature is no coincidence. But obviously, it'd be interesting to see if you actually use a Go Plus and have Pokemon in the background and play Wizards Unite, and see if the Go Plus would actually catch Pokemon automatically for you. But honestly, I'm thinking that the demographic for Hogwarts Mystery is not going to be Pokemon Go players. I mean, we had those sort of early surveys of Pokemon Go players, and a lot of them were saying, "Nah, man, I might not switch. I'm going to stay with what I've done because they've invested so much time in it." But so I think we might be pulling a different demographic in. So I think Hogwarts Mystery players, who I asked them, and like 80% of those were like, "Yeah, we're definitely going to play Wizards Unite." So I think Niantic's player base as a whole is going to grow.
Yeah, I think initially, if you asked me this question before Monday, I think it would have been like, sure, no problem. You can kind of play both games at the same time without an issue. And then I saw how in depth their plans are for this game, and how much I feel like there's going to be a lot more attention to detail in Wizards Unite than there is with Pokemon Go. So I think that's going to cause some Pokemon Go players that are interested in Wizards Unite to kind of lean more towards Wizards Unite when it comes out. The good thing though is, like Mark said, they've integrated the Adventure Sync. You've got the Pogo Plus that you can use to catch things. I would say there's another version of the Pogo Plus. I'm not trying to plug products here, but there's a thing called a gotcha. I don't know if anybody has experienced those or have any experience with those. They actually auto spin and auto catch things for you. So you don't even have to press a button. You just walk around and it catches things. I have a feeling we'll be using that quite a bit while we're playing Wizards Unite. But I think it's going to be difficult for the community that has invested so many hours and so much money into their Pokemon Go accounts over the past 3 years to jump into Wizards Unite fully if they're not already just a huge Harry Potter fan. But then you also have players that are people that have played video games in general in the past. They may be more interested in the kind of RPG elements of this game that could pull some audience over to Wizards Unite as well. But at the same time, it could scare some people away that are more casual players. So I don't know. It's a really deep question with a lot of bulleted point answers.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult. I don't think it's going to be possible to play hardcore both games at the same time because Wizards Unite is going to be so complicated. I mean, physically, it's going to be possible, I assume, to play Pokemon Go and use the Go Plus or the Pokeball Plus or something like that. But I don't think, just like Mark said, it's not really the same audience for both of these games. I don't think they're meant to be played at the same time, really.
Yeah, so I'll just say, for me, it's not feasible. So my partner keeps recommending new games to me, and for like the last, 3 or 4 months, I've been telling him, as soon as Wizards Unite launches, I am not playing any other games. Like, no WoW, no nothing. Like, I don't care. No Let's Go Pikachu. I'm only playing this game. So for me, whatever. For others, it might be possible. Depends on how you play. The nice thing about Niantic's map is that if you're playing one game, you're doing things, you're likely to have other things to do in the other game. So if for some reason, I'm not saying I want this to happen, if for some reason either game is having issues, then you can just hop on the other one, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's possible, maybe, but I think it'll be very difficult.
Yeah, so I'm imagining like folks showing up to gyms and having like a Pokemon group show up to gyms while they're like looking at folks that are like showing up with the Wizards Unite gyms because they're using the same platform. So I think we're definitely going to be integrated into the same areas. I am going to be hardcore Wizards Unite. I have been very casual, very, very casual. Like I will spin a stop and catch a Pokemon and like try and complete a research thing a day. And that's about my like extent of Pokemon Go lately. It's not what I've been enjoying as much. I've been focused on Wizards Unite, and I think that I've grown through my engagement in Pokemon Go of what I've liked doing, and I had tons of fun with it over time, but it's not where I've been leaning lately. And I think it's going to be hard to do both. I don't know of many that could be hardcore Wizards Unite and hardcore Pokemon Go, that if you're having, like if there's people out there with like their 20 phones, that are all like synced up so that way they could like raid at the same time or something, like they're going to be Pokemon goers, like if they're that hardcore, like that's what you like, they could switch over and they could focus all on Wizards Unite. But ultimately, I'd say they're different fan bases. I'd say they're different people that they're trying to reach out to and grow in their platform. And even so, if I'm at a gym in Pokemon Go for some sort of Wizards Unite Fortress, or if I'm at some sort of event or close by, I'd switch over and do like a Pokemon Go raid if they're needing some folks to jump into it. But I don't see the ability to do hardcore for either of them. Or sorry, not for either, but for both simultaneously. But I guess if you have some extra time, and I guess there could be people that split time. If you just give up all other things in the world and focus on games, you could definitely do a lot. Maybe not the best recommendation, but try it with your mom and dad, see what they say. So, do you feel like Pogo players are less likely to leave the game since they've invested?
Yeah, I've spoken to quite a few people and they were saying that they've invested a lot of time. So I think it'd be very hard to get the Pokemon Go players to come across. When Pokemon Go was released, a lot of Ingress players went across, that's for sure. But I think, they're going to stick with their game, I think, predominantly.
Yeah, I kind of already answered this part. I think it's going to be hard for people that aren't, super into the Harry Potter universe. I mean, we'll probably get some casual Harry Potter fans that come over that have invested. I'm talking about like hardcore Pokemon Go players that have invested all this time, all this energy into their game for the past 3 years. Could be an issue, but I think that we have a lot of Pokemon Go players that aren't or weren't very interested in Pokemon before Pokemon Go came out. They saw kind of the Pokemon nerds running around playing. This is one of them right here, and I think that they just kind of played it because it was cool. You got to go around and catch things and exercise and interact with the community.
Exercise was not why I signed up for it.
Riding
I
in a
don't do
car.
exercise. Don't sign me up for cardio.
But those players, I think, would be more willing to jump over to Wizards Unite, if they're into the more in-depth RPG elements that the game's offering.
Yeah, I also think that it's going to be difficult to get the people who are really, really hardcore Pokemon Go players to move over to Wizards Unite. But anyone who's just maybe getting a bit bored with Pokemon Go, there are a lot of people who are getting bored with that and want something new. And then definitely they're going to be trying Wizards Unite and hopefully stick with that. But the really hardcore players, the ones that really love Pokemon Go, they're maybe going to try Wizards Unite, but not much more than that.
Yeah, so I agree with everyone. I still don't think it's completely necessary to abandon. And I understand it's an investment. It's like your life, years and time and like experiences. So I get it. And I, again, think it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So if you want the kind of experience that Wizards Unite is trying to offer, then go for it. And if you try it out and you decide, this is too much or not for me, or I prefer Pokemon Go for it. Like I think that people should do what's best for them. I think what's really hard right now is, things where comments where people are kind of like saying, oh, Pokemon Go is going to be better, Wizards Unite is going to be better. That's not productive for anyone. So just do what you want. It's fine. Like, do what's best for you, and only you can make that decision. But I mean, I would suggest trying it out. And if you're in a lull in one of the games, switch over to the other one. Just, do what's best for you.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd say that Niantic's goal is not inherently to draw their Pokemon Go fan base into a new game. Like, that's not for marketing. It doesn't make sense. Like, you're trying to grow out more, like reach new people. And I think that's what they could do really easily. That there were a lot of folks that just didn't enjoy Pokemon. That's something that they weren't necessarily interested in. And Wizards Unite, or the Wizarding world, already has a huge fan base. There's new movies coming out. There's a lot of folks that are willing and able and super excited to be able to grow further in their wizarding quests. There are still folks that make and have made Harry Potter podcasts for years, like years and years and years. So I'd say there's already a fan base out there, and it's really just tapping into what we're excited about, what we want to do more. Now, how do you think that fortresses will work?
Okay, so I don't want to see everyone else's opinion, and this is actually as well. So I think it's going to be. So you go into a room, be full 360. I think they were saying it's going to be. See, I'm kind of a lot of these articles. I'm not quite sure how true they are because, of course, they're second sources. So there's going to be 3 enemies to choose from. There's 5 of you. So 3 will pick, 2 will support. I'm guessing that's how it works. Whether you can interchange, as in if someone's running low on energy, you can swap. Be quite interesting. And I think once all 3 are defeated, you then go obviously up to the next level. Someone did say how many levels there were. I have the number 10 in mind, but that could just be anything. And I think at the end, once you do, because I'm going to shortcut to the end, you'll be getting all those books for your skill tree at the end, and some other toys probably potions and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it'll be the same fighting mechanic as we have in the general encounters.
Yeah, so oh man, I'm so excited about this part of it. I thought about, like, if we're going to have professions, we're going to have classes, like, why are we having these classes? Like, why do we have these different professions or types of characters to choose from? And, like, this is it. This is the reason you got to build this team dynamic. You've got to fill the need of that RPG triangle, that tank support, damage dealer requirement to kind of balance the team out and get through it. So I'm really excited about this. We have another video coming out next week that will kind of go through a lot of our ideas talking about this. But in general, I think that the idea of a full 360 immersion that Mark just mentioned would blow my mind. How cool it'd be if you could actually see your other party members with you while you're kind of looking around. You can see what they're doing. Your phone would probably explode, I know, but that's okay. But I think that just the idea of having a progression system where you and your team are trying to get through a dungeon, like a dungeon crawl type aspect, to get better loot and to get better items that better than what you can find out, in the world. I think it just blew my mind that they're actually trying to do this. And I think one of the articles there, I think it was the Eurogamer article, even mentioned the aspect of floors, like as levels, I think. And, like, my initial thought was, like, are we actually walking through a dungeon? Like, physically, we are walking together, hopefully not very far, through a dungeon to complete it, which would be awesome. But
we sound so out of shape.
We're Americans, Southern Americans, baby.
Don't make us walk far unless there's mashed potatoes at the end.
That's right. But I'm so pumped to learn more about this, and I can't wait for them to show some gameplay of how this is going to work.
This was a very big question. I just looked at it and I realized that I haven't played enough games that have this sort of thing in them, and I haven't really looked into enough what we know about the fortresses. So I'm just going to have to say that I can't answer this. It looks awesome, but I can't actually imagine what it's going to be. So I'm just going to wait and see what we find out later.
So going back to Mike's point real quick about, like, going into, like, a legit dungeon. So that's why I was so excited about the portkey 360 type things. I don't know if anyone's saw this, but I can't remember exactly what event. It was a tweet, and it was Niantic, and they were just testing out different things. And I think they were in Japan, where there were these, like, giant poles that people were holding onto and wearing, like, VR type headsets, but it was a Pokemon gym. And so they were, like, kind of walking around the pole, and they were, like, literally walking up the steps to the top of the Pokemon gym. So, like, I could definitely see that as something that they might be playing around with, of, like, actually having that immersive type feel. Are we going towards full-on, like, MMORPG type things? Like, I don't know. I'm just, again, like, this is the starting point, and this is kind of, like, where we can see potential pathways for what the vision might be. So I just think that whatever it is going to be super, super cool. Up to 5 players. I don't know if we've already said that, including yourself. So if we could, like, have some battling going on where we're doing damage, but also, like, people are healing at the same time. Like, it's just going to be so cool. It needs to happen right now. I'm, like, freaking out. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I think I need to go for a few jogs before this game comes out. I'm definitely with the wizard guide as usual there. I think we are just like the same peas in the pod. I'm usually like, well, if I can, like, drift into a Pokestop from my apartment, I would prefer that, because then I can spin it and not have to worry about some of this, like, walking around and stuff. I agree that fortresses will be kind of a unique way to build teams, and I'm excited to see how that actually works out. Once again, once the game comes out, it'll be easier to kind of develop your teams. But I think the idea of 5-person teams really helps the rural player, in that it's not a 20-person availability for a raid. Instead, it's 5 people, which if you can't get 5 people, I'm a little concerned. Like, we need to figure out how we can like I'll go knock on some neighbors' doors and be like, y'all's playing this, right? Like, get your phone out, download this, we're going. It's time. This is what you're gonna be. So I think it's easier for role players, but I also think it's a cool way to build communities or kind of guilds together. I think guilds is usually the ideology that I think of, like, oh yeah, I have my group of like 5 friends that I'll go out and play with, and I'll probably tag along with some other people, but I'll have like that core group of friends that I'll just go out with and play. Hopefully we'll get a lot of selection. So I went back through some articles about how fortresses were kind of described. It sounds like there's going to be some sort of like decision making in it. From what I could read, it wasn't super clear, but it might be that we get the chance to decide like, oh, we're going to be taking on this like group of dark wizards first, and then we're going to go and deal with some like magical creatures or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how it'll work out, but I'm really hopeful that they integrate it well enough to where you could have some of that, as others were mentioning, the ability to like heal your friends and play off of each other in some ways, which would be really neat. This is a really unique one. This is asked to us kind of last minute, but I'm really excited to hear. What inspired you to start a YouTube channel?
So I've been a kind of like a background media person for a while, so I used to do a lot of live sound for bands and stuff like that. And I did some like video editing in the past, but I've been in front of a camera and I've been in front of a microphone, and now I'm both. And it's kind of like training. I think it goes for a lot of people here. I think Training Tips did his video about, if you've got a passion for a game or whatever, you should do your channel if you want to do it. Just do it. And I was like, yeah, but I know nothing about Pokemon Go. And it's kind of like I was too old for Pokemon Go when it came out, and I was like, if it did sound like Harry Potter, that would be awesome, because I could definitely do that. And I was like, yeah, if they ever do a Harry Potter thing, I'll be in for that. And they were like, that'll never happen. And then they announced it. I was like, okay, then I guess I have to do this now. Get out of my comfort zone and actually just step in front of a camera and a microphone. So it was down to Training Tips and his challenge and my dumb luck.
Yep. I think a lot of our answers are going to be the same. At least the initial push involved a Trainer Tips video that came out that said, hey, if you guys are wanting to do this, now would be the time to do it. And so we decided to jump on it then. But in the past, I've dabbled in content creation before and podcasting and things like that, but never really have jumped into the video aspect of it. So I thought it was a cool challenge. I've done video editing in the past for some old jobs and things, so we definitely had the ability to do it. I think Brittany's personality is enough to carry the channel. So I think it's nice that we kind of pair well together, where I can kind of help with the tech stuff and she can make everybody laugh.
Clearly, I'm not doing the tech stuff. I can't even log into Twitter.
Yep. Millennials.
So this is kind of embarrassing, but before I started this YouTube channel, I was not at all into YouTube. I had maybe like 2 or 3 people that I followed, and I knew absolutely nothing about it. My fiance, however, was very into YouTube. She was watching a lot and had a channel that she, uploaded to every once in a while, nothing big. And then when this game was announced, yes, I did see the Trainer Tips video too, and sort of got the idea, maybe that might be fun, but should I? And my fiance was the one who encouraged me that, yes, you should try it. It could be fun. And it was. So, yeah, that's where that came from.
I've been obsessed with YouTube forever. I love YouTubers. I love watching them. And I never felt confident in myself of starting a YouTube channel until like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it was still just an idea. I also saw Trainer Tips' video like many people, and it was part of this. There was just a lot of things coming together. I took video editing in high school, and so like the biggest learning curve was learning how to do, not just like basic video editing, but like how to make it entertaining, how to build an audience, how to build a community, how to build like, who is Wizard PhD and what am I about? Like that to me was the hardest part to figure out. But I think that what I really love is just learning how to do all this stuff. So I learned how to make a YouTube channel from YouTube, and meeting amazing content creators and having community. So like a large piece of why my YouTube channel is important to me is because of the connections that I can make around the world. And like, yeah, I have my friends that I hang out with here in real life, but I also have like my friends that I hang out with in digital spaces. And those relationships are also super important to just where I am in my life right now and what I'm seeking.
Yeah, and I think it was said well in that a lot of us saw, some videos about people like recommending like, hey, like get out there, like do something. If you love something, like do it, right? And that's passion, right? Like that's what drives most of what I can tell from our WooTube community, is that we just have a passion for Harry Potter. We're all like super super nerds in some ways, and I think that's a good thing. Like I think it's good to embrace that side of us that just loves and really enjoys. Not only like the community of Harry Potter and Harry Potter fans, but also so a lot of what sparked me in learning was that I really wanted to grow my brain. I felt like most of my life was like a very logical, rational, analytical person, and a lot of that I think is good, but it's lacking in your brain. It's saying that you're not doing like you're focusing on one side and not the other. And I wanted more creativity in my life. So last year, come Christmas, sorry, not last year, the year before, 2017. I actually set up my channel on Christmas Day. For those of you who know my YouTube anniversary, it is the 25th of December 2017. But a lot of that was just reflecting on what my life was at that point and how everything was really focused on studying and learning and getting to know more and being this like very rational and analytical person. And I wanted more. I didn't want to like shortchange myself in that. And I found a passion for the AR platform. I had a passion for wizarding, and all of it kind of came together in that announcement come November of 2017, just saying, hey, Niantic's this company that's seemingly the best at AR gaming. IMO, or in my opinion, I find them to do very well and great work. That I enjoy that part of it, but I also think that they've done a really great job in linking community together. That they are really big on community and building people up together, and I enjoy that part of it. I think that's a cool way to grow and to challenge yourself in new ways. So that was a little sneak peek into my why reason, but also because I need to rep the Slytherins, yo. We need some good role models out there. Like there's baby Slytherins about to be born, and we need to like make sure that they have some good role models in this world. So that's very very important to me. Definitely. So we are getting into a lightning round of questioning. If you have not already submitted your questions or you wanted to know a little bit more, make sure you throw those in chat. But we're going to just have like a one-person answer for each of these. I have been trying to keep track of all of these questions as they've come through. So we're just going to kind of rapid fire around and be able to jump through these last couple of questions that y'all have been having. We are so glad that you're here once again. Thank you for watching this. Make sure you like it, share it with your friends after it is over, and subscribe to all these lovely folks because they're awesome. They make really cool content, and they have a really unique styles and ways to express and grow throughout the wizarding world. So it would be of great value to you to be able to watch them all and enjoy their content, because that is amazing. Some of the work that has been done, and especially going back through some of like our older videos, I think is a really cool way just to see like how far we've come in that. So definitely excited for that. Now, this first question is recast Harry Potter using only WooTubers. It's coming to us from Expectogo. Let's throw that over to Mark and let's see what he has to say about that.
Oh no, I knew he was going to give me this one. I was like, whoever it was at Expectogo who dropped that question, I told them they were evil. So they are immediately Draco Malfoy. I can see Mike. I can see you chopping off Nagini's head. Definitely a Neville. Yeah. I think Lynette, I think you are going to be a professor, obviously. I think it's going to be Flitwick. And I'm going to stop there before everyone else comes over to the UK and kills me.
Good, good. Next one. Okay, so you go to an inn to get some energy after fighting a Death Eater, and they're all out of butterbeer. What do you eat and drink? This will be thrown over to the Wizard Guide.
It's going to be thrown over to Brittany.
Man, y'all, I hate this rapid fire. I don't know. Do they have bar food? If they have pizza rolls, I would be okay with pizza rolls.
Good answer. Pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls is always the answer.
Fantastic. Pizza rolls are life. I think I could eat more than my weight in pizza rolls, for sure, for sure. Okay, so given the complexity, in a good way, of Wizards Unite from the beginning of a continuous storyline to how easily it will be to, how easily do you think it will be to attract players later on? So like, do you feel like latecomers will feel like they're too far behind the skill tree or feel like they're somewhat disadvantaged for not playing from day one? So we'll be thrown over to Uniting Wizards.
Okay, good, because this is actually something that I have been thinking about. So I think I hope that they will have figured out a way to make sure that people who start later in the game actually have a chance to get fairly quickly to a high enough level that they can do things in the game. I'm a little bit worried about the storyline because it's going to be a complex storyline, and what if you start playing 8 months after the storyline started? Where are you in the storyline? Do you start from the beginning, or do you have to start where everyone else is? And then how will you know what's been happening? So again, I hope they have figured out a way to do this, but I will say that I am a little bit worried.
Great, great. I'm going through some of these comments here, making sure that we don't miss out on anyone. If you do ask a question at me, because it'd be much easier to read through this. Has anyone seen any questions so far coming in?
I saw a very important one that mentioned what a pizza roll is. I think we need to describe this for people that do not know.
This is on you, Britt. We need some good explanation of what a pizza roll is.
I wish that I had prepared, like they're in the freezer. They're always in our freezer. They are like little bread pocket things, and then they stuff in it like pizza sludge. And then you heat it up and it will burn the crap out of your tongue. It's like pizza lava in a little roll thing.
But it's so delicious. It's so worth the burning of the tongue.
I feel like it's like a staple of college kids everywhere, but I never grew out of like college kid food. I still eat it. I'm the worst mom.
Or we're the best parents. Who knows? That's the question.
Yes, definitely. I saw that somebody had mentioned their Wizardway Chris is actually thinking about making some business cards. I actually have done that. That I have like Slytherin business cards. So for our summer tour, of course, when we are going out, I've got my Join the Adventure catchphrase with a little QR code so that we can always scan that and find my YouTube page, and then just got some of the basics on there. So I think that's a good idea for us, especially when we do our teams, of course, because if we do a summer tour with the YouTubers, y'all, it's going to be awesome. Have us break into teams of 5, run around the wonderful Muggle world, and find out how to best become wizards in the upcoming Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Let's see here. So we have asked, what the heck is a pizza roll? It is delightful. If y'all don't have pizza rolls, like, see if you can order them on Amazon, because y'all need to experience that. Apparently I might be cast as Draco. I think I've like gotten the hair for it right now. Like I've been trying this like look for a while. I think I have Draco's hair going on right now. I just need to like blonde it up, but it's cool because I got a green screen recently. So if you haven't seen my last couple videos, I've been like playing around with it a lot, and I can probably make my hair like lighter. I don't think I can make it like Draco white, like crazy Draco blonde. We got lots of suggestions for who's going to be who in this recast of the Wizarding world, or in the Harry Potter series. I'm excited. Alrighty, so who else has questions? Oh, looks like Akio Wizards Unite is also going to be getting some QR cards coming up pretty shortly. Yeah, I think they're helpful. There's been a couple times that I've been like, yeah, this is good. This is a good thing. Sweet. So I'm thinking we actually made it through all these questions. Dang, look at us go. Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We're going to do a quick sign off for everyone, make sure that we show some love. And if you haven't already, hey, subscribe to these folks. They definitely are worthy of your subs. They are so excited to be having you join on their adventures as well. And I invite you to join the adventure here if you have not already. But let's go ahead and pass it off to Mark for your closing remarks.
Okay, I think it's an absolutely amazing experience. My first time at one of these, and it's great fun. The chat is so super busy. So I've already got to say my side out, which is get your wands ready, brush up on your spells, and Wizards Unite.
Yeah, I agree. This has been super fun. Thank you for hosting Slitherwind.
I'm so bad at sign-offs.
I know.
Bye.
I know. Bye. No, I will do the sign off. Go follow us, The Wizard's Guide. We're everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Hit the subscribe button. We are pretty close to 200 subscribers, so just plug in that. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been super fun.
Yeah, I also just want to thank everyone. It's just been awesome. This was my first live stream too, and it's been a really good experience. And so thank you all, and thank you everyone in the chat, where I have been not very active because I have attention issues, so I can't both listen to people and read at the same time. But thank you all anyway.
I love y'all so much. This is always so fun. So you can find me. My YouTube channel is Wizard PhD. I just changed my social media handles. So Twitter, Instagram. Twitter is Prof Lynette because Professor Lynette was too many characters. And Instagram is Professor Lynette because Prof Lynette was taken. So find me there. You can see my logo. And one's ready.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So this is myself, Slitherwin. Of course, this is my YouTube channel. Got some Twitters out there with the Slitherwin with double R's because Slitherwin was taken, unfortunately. But something that I was reading this week, and I was going through the Goblet of Fire, and it said, you are all on the same side. Sorry, this is Albus. You are all on the same side now. Time is short, and unless the few of us who know the truth stand united, there is no hope for any of us. I think that's a really key quote from the Harry Potter series that just talks about us being united as one front, fighting against the statute of secrecy. Once again, thank you all for being here. You are wonderful, you are excellent, and you are going to be wonderful wizards because you're going to be most informed for your friends and colleagues out there. Thanks for being here, and I will see y'all next time. Slitherwin and family out.